Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will see introduction to process management. Guys, when you write a program, generally it can be any kind of C program or a Java program or C++, whatever it might be. These programs are basically reside in secondary memory of the system, right? This is what we will call it as a program, right? Which will satisfy certain kind of requirement. When operating system loads this program from secondary memory to main memory for execution, we will call it is process. Simply, process means a program which is under execution. We can call it as a process, right? When a process is executing or when a program is executing, it is going to use various kind of resources of the system like memory, printer, scanner, etc. And it will take various kind of inputs from the user dynamically. That is the reason we will call a process as active and dynamic, right? The reason is process is active because it is going to use various kind of resources of the system, and we'll call this as dynamic because it is going to take inputs dynamically from the user. If I say with respect to a program is a static and passive because program is going to reside on hard disk of the system and it won't use any resources whereas if I say with respect to passive, it is not taking any inputs, it will be idle, it is not taking inputs, so we'll call this as passive. Okay, fine. So in general, in our system or in our main memory, we'll have n number of processes, right? For each and every requirement, we'll written various kind of programs. If the program is loaded to the main memory, we may get n number of processes. Managing all these processes is done by operating system. How it is going to done? All this you can able to understood by studying the concept of process management, right? So which means what kind of things it can done? Operating system can done terminate of a process. I can able to terminate a process. I can able to execute a process. Like that, it can able to perform various kind of operations on the process, right? How these operations are be performed will be known by studying the concepts called process management concepts. Okay, hope you understood the need of process management. Understanding how processes are configuring in the main memory of the system will be known by looking into the process management concepts, right? Basically, if any program which is under execution, operating system will create some structure for us. Where it will create? It will create in the main memory for some kind of requirement, right? So that structure, if you look, it will look like kind of this, right? So I can say process structure. Where it is going to create, guys? It is going to create in the main memory, right? So if we try to say there is a file called j.c that will be loaded to the main memory, then it will be a.out, and all kind of static variables and global variables are reside in this section. And during the runtime, it might read dynamic memory to store the data. So dynamic memory, basically here memory is there, this part. And for function calls, it will maintain separate memory. We can call it as stack memory. Stack memory, right? Stack memory is going towards the downside, and dynamic memory going towards upwards. It is because we don't know exactly which memory is going to fill first. That's the reason they will just leave them as like that. And if dynamic memory wants to use extra space, it can cross this boundary, and the stack memory wants to use extra space, it can cross this boundary. Basically, stack memory used for to store various kind of function calls, and dynamic memory is meant for runtime. It requires any kind of memory. All those things will be stored in the dynamic memory. So this is the way your process structure is going to be stored, and we can say each and every process is scheduled, right? So scheduled, or I can say that as dispatchable unit, because once a process wants to execute, it has to be first scheduled. That's the reason we'll call it as CPU schedulable or dispatchable unit, right? Guys, if you are unable to understood the meaning of the statement, you can able to understood that in the later part of the videos. Just go with the flow and try to understood. If you are unable to understood, we'll try to take various kind of problems. There you can understood clearly. Hope you understood this video clearly, guys. Thank you.